The shadow of financial worry lengthened across Vincent Porter's face as he stared at the stack of bills on his kitchen table. The red, "Final Notice" stamps seeming to glow in the dim light of his modest apartment. At 32, he hadn't imagined his life would be a constant juggling act between making rent and ensuring his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, had everything she needed. The construction company he worked for had cut his hours again, and the freelance handyman jobs he picked up weren't filling the gap. "Daddy, is my cereal ready?" Lily's voice pulled him from his thoughts, her small frame appearing in the kitchen doorway, clutching her worn teddy bear. Her blonde hair was tangled from sleep, reminding Vincent he'd need to help her brush it before school. "Almost ready, princess." Vincent quickly swept the bills into a drawer and poured the last of the milk over the generic brand cereal. "How did you sleep?" "I had a dream about Mommy," Lily said, climbing onto a chair. "She was playing with us in a big house with a swimming pool." Vincent swallowed hard. 3 years had passed since Emma's death, but moments like these still felt like reopened wounds. "That sounds like a wonderful dream, sweetheart." He placed the bowl in front of her, brushing her hair back with gentle fingers. "Will we ever have a house with a swimming pool?" Lily asked between spoonfuls. "Maybe someday," Vincent answered, the promise feeling hollow in his throat. "Hurry up now. Mrs. Jenkins will be here soon to take you to school." After getting Lily dressed and sending her off with their elderly neighbor who watched her before school, Vincent headed to the construction site. The November air bit through his worn jacket as he worked, his mind constantly calculating costs against his upcoming paycheck. By the time his shift ended at 4, dark clouds were gathering, threatening rain. His phone buzzed with a text from his buddy Marco. "Bar renovation job tonight, $150 cash. You in?" Vincent texted back immediately. "Definitely. Address." 2 hours later, after checking that Lily was settled with Mrs. Jenkins for dinner, Vincent found himself replacing damaged flooring in an upscale bar downtown. The owner, pleased with his efficiency, handed him $175 instead of the promised $150. "You do good work, man. I'll keep your number for future projects." "Thanks. I appreciate that," Vincent said, pocketing the unexpected extra cash. This would cover Lily's overdue dance class fees, the one luxury he couldn't bear to take away from her. It was nearly 11 when Vincent started the long walk home, having missed the last bus. The rain that had threatened all day finally unleashed, soaking through his jacket within minutes. But the money in his pocket and the thought of Lily's face when he told her she could stay in dance class kept him warm inside. As he cut through the financial district, a shortcut he rarely took, Vincent noticed a woman struggling with an umbrella that had flipped inside out in the wind. She wore an elegant coat that seemed out of place in the downpour, and even from a distance, he could see she was shivering. "Need some help?" he called out, approaching slowly so as not to startle her. The woman looked up, her dark hair plastered to her face. "Oh, thank goodness." "This thing is useless," she gestured to the mangled umbrella. "And of course, my car chose tonight to break down, and there's not a taxi in sight." Vincent assessed the umbrella. "This is beyond repair, I'm afraid." He glanced at her high heels, clearly not made for walking any distance. "Where are you headed?" "Oakwood Heights. My phone died, or I would have called for a car." She looked embarrassed, as if admitting weakness. Vincent raised his eyebrows. Oakwood Heights was the most exclusive neighborhood in the city, a good 30-minute walk from where they stood. "That's quite a trek, especially in this weather." "I know," she sighed, her breath visible in the cold air. "I'm Vanessa, by the way, Vanessa Taylor, Vincent Porter." He hesitated only a moment before offering, "I'm headed in that general direction." "I could walk with you part way, at least until you reach somewhere safer to wait for help." Vanessa studied him, caution evident in her posture. Vincent understood a woman alone at night had every reason to be wary of a stranger's offer. "I'm just a construction worker headed home," he added, showing his empty hands. "But I get it if you'd rather not." "No, I appreciate it," she finally said. It's freezing and this area gets deserted at night. She attempted to smooth her hair back. I should have known better than to work so late. They began walking, and Vincent noticed she was trying to match his pace despite her inappropriate footwear. Without thinking, he slowed down. So, what kind of work keeps you at the office until almost midnight? He asked, trying to fill the awkward silence. Investment banking, she answered. I was finalizing a merger that's been consuming my life for months. She glanced at him. What about you? Construction work usually doesn't run this late. I was doing a side job, renovating a bar. Vincent stepped around a puddle, gesturing for her to follow his path. I pick up whatever extra work I can find. To make ends meet, she asked. Something like that. Vincent didn't elaborate, feeling the usual shame that came with admitting his financial struggles. I have a 6-year-old daughter. Kids are expensive. I can imagine, Vanessa said, her voice softening. What's her name? Lily. She's the best thing in my life. They turned onto a quieter street, the rain still pouring. Vincent noticed Vanessa shivering more intensely. Here, he said, shrugging off his jacket. Take this. I can't take your jacket, you'll freeze. I'm used to working outdoors, please take it. Reluctantly, she accepted, wrapping it around her shoulders. Thank you, that's very kind. As they continued walking, Vincent learned that Vanessa had moved to the city 5 years ago from the West Coast. She was 30, unmarried, and completely devoted to her career. In turn, he told her about Lily's ballet recitals and his dreams of someday opening his own construction company. Your daughter sounds wonderful, Vanessa said, genuine warmth in her voice. You must be a great father. I try, Vincent replied. Her mother died 3 years ago, car accident. Since then, it's been just us. I'm so sorry. Vanessa's hand brushed his arm briefly, a gesture of comfort that felt surprisingly natural. They were approaching the boundary of Oakwood Heights when a car sped through a puddle, drenching them both with dirty water. Perfect, Vanessa muttered, looking down at her ruined outfit. Then, unexpectedly, she began to laugh, a rich, genuine sound that made Vincent smile despite the cold and wet. What's so funny? He asked. Just look at us. I spent $600 on this coat, and now I look like I jumped into a pond, and here you are, giving away your only jacket to a complete stranger. Vincent chuckled. Well, when you put it that way. They reached the entrance to Oakwood Heights, where ornate gates and a security booth marked the transition to another world. Vanessa stopped, turning to face Vincent. I can take it from here. The guard knows me. He'll let me use his phone. She slipped off his jacket, returning it with a grateful smile. Thank you for walking me. I don't know many people who would do that for a stranger. It's no problem, Vincent said, suddenly aware of how cold he was without the jacket. Anyone would have done the same. No, Vanessa said firmly. They wouldn't. She hesitated, then pulled a business card from her coat pocket and handed it to him. If you ever need anything, or if you're looking for more side jobs, please call me. I know people who are always looking for reliable contractors. Vincent accepted the card, noting the embossed logo of Taylor Financial Group. Thanks, I appreciate that. Good night, Vincent Porter, she said, walking toward the security booth. Good night, Vanessa Taylor, he replied, watching until she was safely inside before turning to begin the long walk home. Vincent tucked the business card into his wallet alongside Lily's school photo, certain he would never call. People like Vanessa Taylor lived in a different world, one he could see, but never truly enter. 3 days later, Vincent was replacing rotting floorboards in Mrs. Jenkins' bathroom when his phone rang with an unfamiliar number. Vincent Porter, he answered, wiping sweat from his brow. Vincent. It's Vanessa Taylor, from the other night. He nearly dropped his hammer. Vanessa, hi, is everything okay? Everything's fine. I hope I'm not disturbing you. No, just working on a project. What can I do for you? Actually, it's what I can do for you. There was a smile in her voice. My neighbor has been complaining about needing renovations on her guest bathroom for months. I recommended you. Vincent sat back on his heels. You did? I did. She's willing to pay well for quality work, and after seeing how meticulously you navigated those puddles, I figured you must be detail-oriented." Vincent laughed despite himself. "That's quite a leap of faith." "I'm good at reading people." She paused. "So, are you interested?" She's desperate, and it could lead to more work in the neighborhood. Vincent thought about his dwindling bank account and Lily's upcoming school trip that he hadn't figured out how to afford yet. "I'm definitely interested, thank you." "Wonderful, I'll text you her information." And Vincent, "Yes. This time, drive or take a taxi. The forecast calls for snow." The call ended, and Vincent stared at his phone in disbelief. Minutes later, a text arrived with the address and contact information for someone named Eleanor Whitfield. A quick internet search revealed she was the widow of a former state senator. The following Saturday, Vincent found himself standing in the driveway of a stone mansion that made his entire apartment building look like a shed. The bathroom renovation turned out to be extensive, involving imported Italian tile and fixtures that cost more than his monthly rent. Mrs. Whitfield, impressed with his attention to detail and work ethic, recommended him to 3 other households in Oakwood Heights. By Christmas, Vincent had enough extra income to not only cover Lily's school trip, but also put a small amount into savings. He hadn't seen Vanessa again, though they occasionally exchanged texts, mostly her sending potential clients his way and him thanking her. On Christmas Eve, Vincent was helping Lily hang ornaments on their small tree when a knock came at the door. "Are we expecting Santa early?" he teased, tickling Lily's side as he went to answer. Standing in the hallway was Vanessa, holding a gift bag and looking surprisingly nervous. She wore jeans and a simple sweater, a stark contrast to the business attire he'd seen her in before. "Vanessa," Vincent couldn't hide his surprise. "How did you? Mrs. Whitfield gave me your address. I hope that's okay." She shifted the gift bag. "I wanted to drop this off for Lily." "It's nothing extravagant, just a children's book about ballet that my niece loves." Before Vincent could respond, Lily appeared beside him. "Who are you?" she asked, peering curiously at Vanessa. "This is Miss Taylor," Vincent explained. "She's a friend who helped Daddy get some new work." "I'm Lily," his daughter announced, extending her small hand with practiced politeness that made Vincent's heart swell with pride. "It's lovely to meet you, Lily." Vanessa shook her hand solemnly. "I heard you like ballet." Lily nodded enthusiastically. "I'm going to be Clara in the Nutcracker next year. Daddy's helping me practice." "Is that so?" Vanessa glanced at Vincent with amused surprise. "Well, this is for you." She handed the gift bag to Lily, who accepted it with wide eyes. "Can I open it now, Daddy?" "Sure, Princess." "Say thank you first." "Thank you, Miss Taylor." Lily rushed back to the living room to unwrap her gift. "That was very thoughtful," Vincent said, suddenly aware of the modest surroundings that Vanessa was seeing for the first time. "Would you like to come in? We have hot chocolate." "I'd like that," she said, stepping inside. Vincent watched as Vanessa joined Lily on the floor, admiring the book together. There was no condescension in her manner, no hint that she found their small apartment lacking. Instead, she seemed genuinely delighted by Lily's excitement. Later, after Lily had gone to bed, Vincent and Vanessa sat at the kitchen table, mugs of hot chocolate between them. "She's amazing," Vanessa said. "You're doing a wonderful job with her." "Thank you." Vincent traced the rim of his mug. "It hasn't been easy, but she makes it all worth it." "I can see that." Vanessa hesitated. "Vincent, there's another reason I came tonight. Taylor Financial Group is renovating an entire floor of our building after the new year. It's a major project we're expanding. I thought, maybe you'd be interested in bidding for the contract." Vincent stared at her, speechless. "That's a commercial contract. I don't have a company, just myself and occasionally a buddy who helps out. But you could form one." Vanessa leaned forward. "The clients you've worked for in Oakwood Heights rave about you. Mrs. Whitfield called you a craftsman from another era. You have the skills and the reputation. All you need is the paperwork and maybe a small team." "That's a big leap," Vincent said, though his mind was already racing with possibilities. It is, Vanessa agreed. But sometimes the biggest opportunities require the biggest leaps. She pulled out another business card, this one for the company's facilities manager. Think about it, no pressure. After Vanessa left, Vincent sat looking at the card for a long time. Starting his own company had always been the dream, but the timing had never seemed right. There was always another bill, another immediate need that pushed the dream further down the road. New Year's Day found Vincent filing LLC paperwork for Porter Construction. He hired Marco and 2 other skilled workers he knew from previous jobs. By February, they had secured the Taylor Financial Group contract, not the full renovation, but a significant portion involving custom woodwork and specialized installations. Vincent began seeing Vanessa regularly as he coordinated with her company's facilities team. Their professional interactions gradually evolved to include lunch meetings that ran long, conversations that drifted from work to more personal topics. He found himself looking forward to these moments, impressed by her sharp mind and unexpected sense of humor. One evening in late March, Vincent was working late at the Taylor Financial offices when Vanessa stopped by his work area, now stripped to the studs in preparation for the new design. "You're here late," she observed, handing him a coffee. Trying to stay ahead of schedule, he accepted the coffee gratefully. "What's your excuse this time? Another merger?" she smiled, leaning against a temporary workbench. "Actually, I came back because I saw your truck was still here. I wanted to invite you to dinner." Vincent paused, hammer in hand. "Dinner?" "Yes, dinner. That meal people typically eat in the evening." Her tone was light, but he could see uncertainty in her eyes. "Unless I've completely misread things between us." "You haven't," Vincent said quickly, setting down his tools. "I just wasn't sure if you felt the same way." "I do." She took a step closer. "Vincent, I've never met anyone like you. You're the most genuine person I know. I'm also a single dad with a mountain of responsibilities." "I know." Her voice softened. "And I admire how devoted you are to Lily. It's one of the things I—" She trailed off, color rising in her cheeks. "One of the things you what?" Vincent prompted, his heart hammering in his chest. "One of the things I love about you," she finished quietly. Vincent closed the distance between them, his hand gently touching her face. "I'd like to take you to dinner, Vanessa Taylor, though I should warn you, my budget doesn't quite match your usual restaurants." "I don't care where we go," she replied, her eyes meeting his. "I just want to spend time with you outside of this construction zone." Their first kiss happened there, surrounded by drywall dust, and the scent of fresh lumber, an unlikely beginning that somehow felt perfectly right. Their relationship progressed slowly, with both of them navigating new territory. Vincent worried about how Lily would react, but his daughter took an immediate liking to Vanessa, especially after learning she had once taken ballet lessons too. By summer, Porter Construction had expanded to 6 employees and moved from Vincent's living room table to a small office space. The Taylor Financial project had led to other corporate clients, and Vincent found himself in the unfamiliar position of turning down residential jobs that were too small for his growing company. One warm July evening, Vincent and Vanessa sat on a bench in the park, watching Lily chase fireflies across the grass. They had just come from dinner celebrating Porter Construction's biggest contract, yet a complete renovation of a boutique hotel downtown. "I never thought I'd be here," Vincent admitted, his arm around Vanessa's shoulders. "A year ago, I was counting pennies to buy Lily's school supplies." "You built this," Vanessa said firmly. "I just opened a door. You walked through it on your own merit." Vincent turned to face her. "You did more than open a door, Vanessa. You believed in me when I didn't fully believe in myself." He took her hand. "You changed our lives." "You changed mine too," she replied. "I was so focused on my career that I'd forgotten what matters most. You and Lily reminded me." In the distance, Lily had befriended another little girl, and they were now comparing their firefly catches, giggling together in the fading light. "Move in with us," Vincent said suddenly. Vanessa blinked in surprise. What? Move in with us, he repeated. I know it's not the luxury you're used to, Vincent, she interrupted. Your apartment is wonderful, but it's too small for the three of us. Lily needs her space, and so do we. His face fell slightly. Oh, I understand if you're not ready. No, that's not what I mean. Vanessa squeezed his hand. I was going to wait to tell you this, but I bought a house. It's in Riverside, not Oakwood Heights, but a nice neighborhood with good schools. It has 3 bedrooms, a backyard, and, she smiled, a small pool. Vincent stared at her. You bought a house. For us, she clarified. If you want it, if you and Lily want to make it a home with me. Vanessa, I can't let you do that. I can't move into a house you bought. I thought you might say that. She reached into her purse and pulled out a document. That's why I put it in all 3 of our names. It's not my house, it's our house. If you want it to be. Vincent took the paper, reading the deed with their names listed as joint owners. His eyes stung with unexpected tears. You don't have to decide right now, Vanessa said softly. And if you're not comfortable with this, we can find another solution. Vincent looked at Lily, now spinning in circles with her arms outstretched, carefree and happy. Then back at Vanessa, whose expression held such hope and love. I want to build a life with you, he said, his voice thick with emotion. A home with you, but I need to contribute equally. You already do, Vanessa replied. This is just a structure. What makes it a home will be what we build inside it together. 3 months later, they moved into the Riverside house. Vincent insisted on renovating several areas himself, including building Lily a custom ballet bar in what became her practice room. Vanessa contributed her design sense and financial acumen, creating a home that reflected both their tastes. On Christmas Eve, exactly 1 year after Vanessa had first visited their apartment, Vincent proposed in front of the fireplace while Lily watched, bursting with the secret she'd helped plan. Vanessa said yes through tears of joy, and Lily presented her with a handmade card that read, "To my new mom." Their wedding the following spring was small but perfect. Lily served as flower girl, and Mrs. Jenkins sat in the front row, dabbing her eyes proudly. Marco was best man, and Vanessa's sister came from California to be her maid of honor. During the reception, held in their backyard, Vincent pulled Vanessa away for a moment of privacy. Happy? He asked, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. Happier than I ever imagined possible, she answered, leaning into his touch. And you? Vincent glanced across the yard where Lily was showing her dance moves to Vanessa's niece. I have everything I could ever want. He looked back at his new wife. You know, that night I walked you home, I never thought I'd see you again. You lived in a different world. Not different, Vanessa corrected him, just unknown to each other, until you stepped out of your way to help me. Best detour I ever took. Vincent pulled her close. I love you, Vanessa Porter. I love you too, Vincent Porter, she whispered against his lips. A year later, their family expanded with the birth of their son, James. As Vincent held his newborn son while Lily peered excitedly at her baby brother, he caught Vanessa's eye across the hospital room. The journey that had begun on a rainy night when a struggling single dad had walked a woman home in the dark had led to this moment, a family forged from kindness, respect, and love that had illuminated both their paths when they needed it most. That night, as Vanessa slept with James cradled in her arms, Vincent stood by the window of the hospital room, thinking about how far they'd come. From counting pennies to building a company, from a cramped apartment to a house with a pool that had fulfilled Lily's dream. But more than the material changes, it was the fullness in his heart that mattered most. Outside, the city lights twinkled against the night sky. Vincent thought about all the people out there walking through their own darkness, looking for their own light. He and Vanessa had found theirs in each other, proving that sometimes the most unexpected encounters could lead to the most beautiful destinations.